happen. So that's the fourth dimension of change, making sure our content that is liquid and linked is right here and right now. The third, moving beyond first impressions to get to the next expression. The second, stories that scale through owned, earned, shared and paid communications. And the first, moving beyond manufacturing communications to cultivating conversations. So that's the theory of connections, but it counts for nothing if it doesn't lead to something. And of course, all of this is designed to turn those conversations into transactions. We're starting to see that as we apply these principles of connections to the way that we create, produce, distribute, and curate and cultivate conversations, that great results are happening. I think Goethe put it best when he said, knowing is not good enough, to apply is more important. Willing is not good enough, to do is more important. Mae West said something similar, but it wasn't repeatable on stage. I can't think of anybody better to bring to life and fulfill the imperative of a 19th century German polymath than the Senior Vice President of Content Excellence from Coca-Cola North America, Mr. P.O. Schunke. P.O. is going to the creative intelligence applied to the way we make content and match it with the genius of execution in making things happen, to get great stories to grow, to get those stories to scale and spread in a liquid and linked way through owned, earned, shared and paid connections, and generate a whole new way for us of talking and engaging to teams. P.O.
Thanks, Ivan. Good lube job. Ready? I'm going to speak to you about the Coke Teen campaign that we developed in North America. And the campaign began with one key assumption, that everyone loves a great story, and teens are no exception to that rule. If you look at some of today's most successful teen franchises, from the Batman movies to the Halo games to the Harry Potter books, they have one thing in common. They all start with great stories that we can't get enough of. These are brands that have created imaginary worlds steeped in mythology, rich in character, and told with multi-layered storytelling. Stories that are so resonant and rich, so liquid and linked, that you want to follow them. They've created immersed brand experiences that keep you coming back for more. And that's the power of great storytelling. And that was the blinding glimpse of the obvious we had as we began to approach the Coke Teen campaign. Because Coke has its own unique story, and unlike the examples on the preceding page, it's actually a true story. It's a story that's been around for 125 years. It's a story that's steeped in its own mythologies and myths, with its own cast of eccentric characters that have created an enviable mystique for this brand. It's the story of Coke's secret formula, the story of a pharmacist called Dr. Pemberton, who created this drink to help alleviate the pains from his war wounds. He created a drink that both energized and refreshed him at the same time. It was a formula deemed so valuable that one of Coke's first presidents moved it in a great shroud of secrecy from New York to Atlanta, where he put it in a vault, where it remains to this day. It's a secret so valuable that actually only 2 people in the company are rumored to know it, each of whom only know half of the formula, neither of whom are allowed to travel on a plane together for fear of losing the formula. It's a formula valued at over $60 billion that people have repeatedly tried to reveal or steal. It's a story that still fascinates and compels, especially in the US. And a great example of this is a program that recently ran on a US radio station called NPR, where the announcer claimed to have laid his hands on the original Coke secret formula document, and that he was going to go on air and reveal it. The program apparently ran for 60 minutes. I severely doubt that, because I think our Coke lawyers get to him much sooner than that. But the story held such public fascination that it crashed NPR's website. It generated over 500 media stories, 5,000 blog posts, and increased our Facebook fan page traffic by 6-fold. That's the power of a great story. Everyone was talking about Coke's secret formula. Everyone except teens, the audience that we most wanted to reach. We are a very familiar beverage to them, but we're ultimately just another option. In fact, they have no shortage of drink options available to them, thousands promising the latest functional benefits, the latest flavors, the latest in cool packaging. So our challenge was immense. How do you convince a 15-year-old to go steady with a 125-year-old? Hugh Hefner is still trying to figure that one out. And especially a brand that has remained unchanged for more lifetimes than these teens have yet to live. This is also a generation who grew up without experiencing the optimism and simple goodness that Coke stands for. To them, we're just another tagline. And so our challenge was immense because we're not special to them the way we are to their parents' generation. It's a generation that has grown up valuing authentic brands and loving it, certainly love cool brands, but they also demand that brands do something for them. It's certainly a what have you done for me lately generation. So our second challenge was to make sure that the whole campaign platform of open happiness really delivered tangible, emotional, and functional value to them on a daily basis. Our mission was simple: get them to love our brand, but also to give the brand a mystique again, and to make it feel special to this audience. So of course we leaned into the secret formula, but we wanted to do it in a way that would introduce the brand and the product to this generation in a really fun, organic way, with a distinct 21st century media articulation to it. We developed the keyhole symbol, and this became the visual shorthand for the secret formula campaign in the US in 2010. Every teen encounter with this symbol would unlock a layer of content about Coke, as well as help them understand what makes this brand so unique and special. I'm going to show you what we did in a short second. We put this symbol all across the US, and to Ivan's words, across owned, paid, and earned. From Facebook to film, from mobile to shopping malls, from popcorn bags to paper cups. We put this story out everywhere as demonstrable proof of open happiness. We are now the #1 market for teen recruitment in the Coke system. Great results, but not good enough. 2010 was just the beginning. As Ivan mentioned, we wanted to move from conversation to transaction. We wanted to see how we could move brand love to actual transaction and purchase of the product itself. We used to be a really important part of teens' daily social ritual. Let's go grab a Coke was really part of the American vocabulary and shorthand for establishing a meaningful social connection, usually over a Coke at the local soda fountain. And we wanted to be part of that social ritual again. But today's soda fountain and youth gathering place is the digital and social media world. And teens' mobile phones is the center of that universe. We needed to ritualize Coke again, starting at that epicenter. And we wanted to do it in a way that tapped into another critical teen insight, the need for social recognition and customization. What I'm about to show you is a 3-minute film that's really a work in progress. Starting last year, we began to beta test and evolve a number of location-based experiences as well as digital applications that tapped into existing teen social behavior as well as their peer-to-peer networks that we leverage to get them to buy, purchase, and sample Cokes for each other. From our secret formula to your secret formula. And we're going to continue to iterate, evolve, and learn from this. But across it all, there's going to be one consistent theme. We're going to increase brand love for Coke and show a whole new generation, new meaning for, and new ways to open happiness. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Cheers.